Hey there, folks. Super happy to talk with you about Scorpio season so that you can plan ahead, the month ahead, and yeah, just get some insights on what this season is about and what it brings, and yeah, just what to look out for. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Scorpio season. So this happens between October 22nd till November 21st. So that is when the sun is in Scorpio. So that marks the middle of fall when our energy is starting to stabilize and become aware of the subtleties of life. We can now shift our attention to what we've had been ignoring due to being super busy during the summer and or the spring or summer, and or it's like, this the things have been overwhelming because we just can't deal with everything at once, especially if it was traumatizing, odd, out of yeah, just kind of throws you off, or overwhelming, any of these kind of feelings. These things we had to ignore or look over because it just wasn't like moment to moment to survive. So now it's the time to do that. It's time to look at ourselves, dig into that dark closet, figure out what's living in there, clean things out, clear it out, compost it, recycle it, just really declutter, get rid of some things so that we just know what we're working with in a psychological and even a material kind of way. So yeah, so we've been really busy up to this point, and it's time to work through our stuff. So the sun in general in astrology signifies our creative expression, where we find confidence in ourselves, truth, action, interests, the light of the intellect. So Scorpio being in the sign of the subtle things in life, psychology, the taboo, the hidden, the occult, metaphysics. It could be also spirituality. Just a big, picture of that. The dark, the scary, the stuff that we are ashamed of, that we want to hide, that makes us nervous, that we fear. All of these things are Scorpio, the scorpion. Not many people like scorpions, or if we do, we kind of like, we respect its power, its capability, and not try to play with it and get stung. So Scorpio, we handle Scorpio in a similar kind of way, or the Scorpio things in our life in a very similar kind of way. And so being very careful and cautious of this area of life is really important, or you get stung, you get hurt, you get pushback, you get and it's very extreme, because Scorpio signifies the extremes of life, the polarity. It's the things that we are just like compulsively attracted to or extremely repulsed by. So it's like, it's the black or white. Yeah. And just learning how to work with this area of life that Scorpio rules is really important. So if I was looking at someone's chart and let's say there are Aries rising and Scorpio rules the 8th house, that area of their life is very sensitive, and as naturally as 8th house things are, this is dealing with other people's resources, other people's money, how you join resources together, how you share resources together, sexuality, the things that you fear and it just are overwhelming to deal with on a daily basis, debts, loans, let's see, banks, these are 8th house things. So now that our shift is happening here in Scorpio, and of course, again, Scorpio rules any house, so that Scorpio could be your career, it could be your friendships, it could be the hidden, the unconscious, your mental health state. It could be who you are, Scorpio rising. It could be your money, the second house, friends in the local environment, third house, fourth house, family, how you belong, sense of belonging, your home, itself, the physical home, the fifth house, children, creative expression, sixth house, work, health routine, seventh house, partnerships. So depending on where Scorpio is placed in your chart, you'll get a lot of activity going on there as the sun is transiting through that house. So we're shifting our attention there. So starting off, like one of the transits that I really wanted to bring to focus during Scorpio season is we have, of course, the new moon in Scorpio. Let's see. And that really, let me see if I can get this moon back a little bit. So at 9 degrees, the moon will be in Scorpio. So at 7:47 a.m. Central Time, that's when the new moon is exact. So this is a wonderful, wonderful time to set an intention on what you like to do about any past hurts or resentments, and that needs healing, that needs liberation. And really, the magic of Scorpio, which also Scorpio rules magic, healing, deep healing, psychological healing, molecular healing, ancestral healing, even. The way that we can maybe set our intention on working with this is just to bring awareness to the pain, bringing awareness, not having any shame around it. And if you do have shame, you just kind of be with it, being with that pain instead of feeling like you got to do something, I think is a great intention to set with this new moon in Scorpio, because that naturally leads to healing, that naturally leads to liberation. Like the symbology of Scorpio is the scorpion rising into the, rising into the phoenix, the bird that it rises and burns into ashes, beauty from pain, rising from the ashes, being transformed, mutated, transmutated. All these words is Scorpio. And so we, rising from the ashes, burning up like the phoenix and being made new is very much Scorpio, and naturally happens when we bring attention to any woundings that we have around here. So again, if you have it in your first house, you're bringing awareness to yourself and how you identify with yourself. If you have Scorpio in your fourth house, that is ruling your fourth house. So Scorpio is on the cusp. This is a whole sign chart system, whole sign system. But if you use Placidus, look to what the sign is, what sign is ruling the cusp of that sign, and that's the ruler of that house. So if you have it Scorpio in the fourth house, that is, bringing awareness to how you relate to family, how you relate to your home, how you relate to your upbringing, your childhood, all of these things. That is just bringing awareness there, is allowing healing, allowing liberation going on there, able to rise up and, just not be held back by the past, having any resentments. So with this new moon, it is trine to Saturn. So the moon is favorably looking to Saturn, Saturn being the planet of discipline, of responsibility, and even maybe it's restriction. This being retrograde, where we are reviewing, reconstructing how we relate to our authority, how we relate to responsibility, what we take responsibility for. And in the place of Pisces, it's like for our dreams, for our mental workings that, rules us that we may not be aware of. Saturn is really making us review and think about how we relate to the divine, how we relate to our dreams, how we relate to the collective, and the healing role, if you will. And so with that trine being there, it's a harmonious aspect, so it's not going to bring about really harsh experiences with this new moon, I see. It is maybe we were receptive to hard work. Maybe we are feeling more resilient and emotionally discerning. Maybe we even have emotional support by people that are elders, our elders, the people that we look up to. Been there, done that kind of folk. So I think this new moon is really great for that. If you are, wanting to bring awareness to what has hurt you in the past, and leaning onto our elders, leaning onto people, or maybe even like podcasts or books or any, for me, it's like, I'll see that. I'm like, that's the Stoics for me. So looking at my Stoic philosophy, that is going to bring a lot of healing there for me in general. But if you're looking to your elders, if you have elders, they might be helpful now, or just simply just working really hard to work through that, bringing awareness there is not falling into the old trappings is, I think, is going to be really helpful with this new moon. So moving on to November 3rd, Mars will be in opposition to Pluto. This is a very, very difficult transit. If you watched my Vibe of the Week, I've talked about this, but or I will talk about this. I don't think it's going to be released yet, but Mars in opposition to Pluto on November 3rd. So leading up, so after that new moon and then going into the, to the November 3rd, it's going to feel rather intense because this is like major, major power struggles. Mars is the willpower and Pluto is the divine will. So the part of us that's like been implanted in us from ancestors and their stories and their karma, we're all bound to do one thing, Pluto. And Mars is like the individual will, the desire to conquer or to go to new lands and discover new things. And so them being in opposition to each other, like wanting to conquer new lands, be independent, being tied to the power of the collective, the power of your ancestry, the history, that deep rooted, psychological stuff that you just can't seem to get out of. It's like that power struggle going on. And then with it being in opposition, it's like it's being projected onto your interactions with other people. So it's like maybe you're dealing with a very powerful person, in that they, you're going to have to be a little bit more strategic with how you deal with them, or maybe having to surrender to it, or just simply acknowledging that you're having this opposing views on things, and it's, can lead to a really big destructive dynamic. So maybe holding back is what's required. Just an observation, I think, is the best way to handle this energy. Just kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening right now. And I don't really need to feed into this more because maybe they're not even seeing straight. Maybe they are projecting on you and the past hurts and taking it out on you because you're the target, which Mars and Pluto have a tendency of doing, just finding that one target to take it out on. Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy today? And I'm going to take them out, but so that I can feel like I've gotten rid of it and I won't be hurt like I did in the past. So they both carry that kind of energy. And that could be explosive anger, that can be, bringing trouble. So just be aware on November 3rd that energy is very prominent around you, within you, without you. It's there. Also, so quickly after Mars shifts into Leo on the same day, which can bring about our need for creativity. Our passion is increased for more autonomy and sovereignty, and I just want to take rulership over your stuff and protecting that. So this energy is really prominent. So our determinedness to shine and share could be a thing too. That's there. And it will also retrograde in December. So we are getting some stories, development going on here about, what the retrograde is about. So just know that you're going to be reviewing this and how you use your energy in the Leo area of your life, and how you express yourself creatively is going to be reviewed and needing to be developed a little bit more with that retrograde. It's coming in December. So November 15th, we have the full moon in Taurus, 3:28 p.m. Full moon in Taurus, 24 degrees. Also, whenever I express the degrees, just know that if you have any planets or placements here, any angular points, just know that it's going to be really special for you. You're going to feel this transits, especially because this is your sensitive points. So just know that. So with the full moon in Taurus, that goes exact at 3:28 p.m. on November 15th. This is like a completion of an intention that has been set on May 7th of this year. So whatever's been going on, check your calendars, check your journals, check your photos maybe to recall what's been going on around that time. There's a completion going on here. So that'll be a fun like journaling thing. Like, what have you learned? What have you manifested since that point? What was that intention that you set then? Do you have it now, or do you have a version of it, or did you get something unexpected? What's likely to happen, and it will be unexpected because the moon is conjunct Uranus, that's retrograde. And so, yeah, there might be some unexpected manifestation that comes here, or there's a strong need to adapt to a change because of that, change that happened, that unexpected event that's happened. Or just in general, you might be feeling uneasy, unsettled, and need to do something different. So maybe not schedule something to do that requires you to be consistent, that requires you to follow through. This will not be the day to do that because of that moon conjunct Uranus. You're going to feel really unsettled, maybe even uneasy, or desiring some radical change. So that's not reliable energy. The moon also trines Pluto, and so that can be really deep emotional healing and releasing from trauma. So that's a natural, aspect, easy going aspect. So, it's not going to be anything traumatic really. It's just going to be, I guess, kind of like a reveal of how you've been handling this Capricorn area of our life, because it is the critical degree and getting ready to go into Aquarius soon again, and then be there for the next 20 years. But excuse me. Yeah, so there's going to be like a lot of healing going on here, revealing some deep secrets that you probably already known. You must have already known because it's a trine. And so now we know how to integrate with it, how to work with it. So that's going to be nice. It could be a very cathartic day. So on November 15th as well, during this full moon in Taurus, we have Saturn stationing direct. So now, we're able to move slowly forward with the Saturn Pisces area of our life. So taking your time to incorporate what you've learned from this retrograde that happened, I think, in June, and gradually start to integrate this new egoic structure, creating new boundaries around what you understand about yourself. Having that backbone is really important, because because with this new boundary, you're going to have a new sense of usefulness in this area of life. So that's going to be nice. I guess the way that I can see that, like if it's, you have Saturn in the 8th house, maybe you would understand how to utilize shared resources, with your spouse, money. Maybe you're able to understand how to use loans, or maybe how to use credit, or maybe how to use your husband's or your wife's money in a way that achieves y'all's joint goal. If it's in your 2nd house, maybe it's you understand how to use your money, how to use your investments, what to invest in. If it's in children, maybe you understand the 5th house of children, and maybe you understand how to structure your children's schedule, or maybe, there is some, finally you're feeling settled on how to handle your children because they had that shift going on in their life, like a major shift going on in their life. Okay. And then last transit I want to mention during Scorpio season, on November 19th, Pluto is back in Aquarius. And again, he will be there for the next 20 years. So Yeah, he's here till 2043. This is going to be, yeah, an amazing transformational time. So Pluto being the planet of mystery and it's very profound. It's like look the little effort, significant, instigate significant changes in life. So with one, yeah, based off of one simple turning point. So like what's coming to mind, like last night I had so I'm Plutonian, so I deal with this energy almost every day. And I personally have to be careful with what I say because what I say makes change happen. So I'm kind of curious of like how this story will develop, if I will ever know. I don't know. But I ended up asking my guests, what do they love about each other? And one was able to answer, the other one was kind of dumbfounded. But before that happened, I noticed a relief in both of them. So it was like something must have been going on with their dynamic for a while, and maybe they didn't feel seen or appreciated. But one was able to answer after, and the other one had trouble answering without involving the other person made them feel. So that was really revealing, and at the end of the night, they were able to answer, but still in a way, it still involved how the other person made them feel or succeed in their life. And which maybe, that is a value that is important, but it makes me curious of how the other person might have felt as that was their, answer. Because like they didn't feel like it was like just them, their quality. Like the answer that they given was like, I like that they're very optimistic, and of course they didn't include maybe they're optimistic, so it makes me feel more at ease with life. That would have been more, maybe a more fuller answer. But like had he just said, or she had said, um, they are very poised, and I appreciate that. That would have been good, maybe. I don't know. But either way, because of the way it was answered, I can see that is a turning point in the relationship, and that could, either make the relationship stronger, or it might reveal, you know, some weaknesses that could make the relationship fall apart, or maybe if they are, intelligent, in which they did seem very intelligent and like aware of their relationship, they would know this is where we need to work on to make this stronger. So hopefully that's the case, but we never really know like person's journey, um, unless you're like with them constantly. So yes, so there could be a one, with little effort, asking that one little question, that could be a significant turning point and change the life forever of that area of life. So whatever you see is untouchable, unspeakable, or is too emotionally overwhelming to deal with, that is going to be, especially in that area of life, that is going to be center stage for you to break down and build up again. So if Pluto is in your first house, if you're Aquarius rising, that, maybe it's going to really show your mortality, or your ability to take control over your life. Maybe it's parts of yourself you're seeing that you don't like anymore, or you just don't like, and you're like, I gotta really change this. Maybe I'm ready to lose weight. Maybe I'm ready to quit alcohol or smoking, or maybe I'm ready to let go of these relationships that are really toxic for me because they could lead me to death sooner than I'm ready to go. So Pluto could do that. If Aquarius rules your second house, it could be your finances. You're ready to take charge and pay attention to your money and how you're spending it and how you're investing it. Where, how you're holding on to it. Where are you putting your investments? Is it giving you back a reward, or is it, draining your financial health? You're paying attention to that. The third house, how do you communicate with yourself? Do you speak with authority, or do you give your authority away through your words? Pluto is going to make you pay attention to that. Fourth house, what is your family dynamic? How do you deal with home? Do you protect your home, or do you let anybody and everybody in your house? And that leads to, people stealing from you energetically, emotionally, materially. Children, maybe you start to have children and that really changes your life because you're like, oh wow, I have to like really confront how I deal with children and deal with my own inner child. Work, maybe it changes the nature of work and you're like, you notice your power in the workplace and how you want to be of service to others. That might, be revealing. It's Pluto there. I just got out of the sixth house transit, and that was really, I went through a lot of different jobs, and that really showed me, how effective I am at work and how valuable I am at work, and how, there's seasons of times of work that I'm just like, I'm with it or I'm not with it, and it's okay, I can move on. So that's kind of like whatever was revealed to me as Pluto was in Capricorn, and also like how my physical health impacts my ability to work was really revealing there. If Pluto is going into your seventh house, and you have Aquarius ruling your seventh, then you're going to have a really transformative time with relationships. Like people are going to come into your life that could be really revealing to your own understanding of relationships, and just transform how you relate to other people. Maybe it's more Plutonian people you're in contact with. So people that are heavily Scorpio or have a prominent Pluto placement, so maybe they are deep healers. Maybe they are aware of their shamanic abilities, if that's their title or not, or maybe, they're very wealthy people and they understand, the law of value, just value and how to play the game. Or, maybe Pluto's in the eighth house and that really helps you really understand the occult. Hidden knowledge makes you more curious of the hidden parts of life, of intimacy and sexuality and magic and all of these things. Ninth house, maybe it really transform your belief systems. Maybe you decide to engage with a new school of knowledge, that is incredibly transformative for you and your perspective of life. Maybe, and it broadens your awareness of possibilities for you. 10th house, maybe it's your career that goes through a massive transformation, and people see you as this powerful person for good or for bad, whatever that means to you, good or bad. Maybe, it's in the 11th house, and that's, friends are really helpful and extremely impactful of your ability to make money, your ability to achieve your dreams and your wishes. So maybe in contact with some really powerful people, or, it's in the 12th house and it really transforms your mental health and how you relate to your mental health and your spiritual practices. So yeah, Pluto going back into Aquarius, we've already have seen the developments going on here because it did go into Aquarius, got back out of it, and now it's back in for the next 20 or 19 years. So we already kind of get a glimpse of what the developments are that Pluto is bringing about, but we're going to see more of it, and it's going to really flush out for the next 19 years. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Scorpio season. So I hope you have a great one. Definitely consider be a patron if you want more, mentorship. If you're feeling like you are really interested in astrology and you want to work more closely with it, that's available to you. That's the link in the bio. Or, just hop on my newsletter that is free, and you'll just be notified of events that I'm going to be at, and just articles maybe I'm writing through my Patreon, or new videos that I'm doing, because I'm hoping to create more. I'm planning on creating more content. So we will see. I hope you have a great Scorpio season, and chat with you next time. Bye.